Hey, what's going on everyone? Richard Blais here for the American Heart Association, and they've teamed up with Eggland's Best for the Healthy for Good initiative, which is providing all sorts of resources on maintaining a healthy lifestyle, which is so important, especially during these crazy times. I know that you've been cooking at home a lot like we have here. I mean, the house is becoming a restaurant, kids are becoming chefs, and today we're gonna feature one of my favorite recipes, something that's easy to do and it's healthy for you. It is Huevos Rancheros. So you can see some of the ingredients here. We got black beans, avocado, some poster ingredients for healthy eating, cilantro and lime, some fresh corn tortillas. So we're gonna start back on the stove. We are going to make the salsa for our Huevos Rancheros. And it's gonna start right here. We have a medium-sized saucepan. And it's gonna start with a little bit of canola oil. I have the heat on medium-high. I'm gonna add some canola oil to my pot, and then I'm gonna add some onions. We have some garlic, and we have some chili peppers and crushed tomatoes. So I'll start with my onions. It looks like a good amount of onions. This is gonna serve 4 people. Everyone's gonna get their own egg. Super, super healthy dish. Almost all of the world's great recipes seem to start with onions. They're in everything. I'll add a little bit of garlic right behind the onions so that doesn't burn. Swirl it up in the pan just so they start cooking. And what we want to do is we want to sweat the garlic and the onions, which is one of those fancy terms you see on one of these food television shows or in a cookbook. It just means we want to soften up the onions and the garlic just so they start to release their aroma. Next, I'm going to add our poblano peppers and our jalapenos. These are poblanos. They're visually my favorite pepper. I love the dark green color of the poblanos. They're not quite as spicy as a jalapeno, but there's a little spice there. If you don't like spicy food, the great thing about recipes in general is mix it up. If you're like me and our family, our youngest daughter, Embry, she does not like spicy food. So we would probably maybe back off a little bit with the poblanos, add green bell peppers. They're gonna be a little sweeter and fruitier than the poblanos. These are jalapenos. We all know that jalapenos have a nice little kick to them. But also, you know what's fun, especially during these moments? Take some time to be adventurous, right? Now is the time to not be a picky eater, because kids, it drives your parents crazy. We're all in this together. We're cooking together. But give it a try. All right, the great thing about chilies too is as the peppers cook, it takes away a little bit of their heat, right? Also, when you're chopping these, make sure there's no seeds. The more seeds that are in the chili peppers, that means it's going to be hotter, right? So this, not too spicy. Poblanos, jalapenos, onions, garlic, cooking away. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. And as the garlic starts to cook right now, I'm gonna add a little water, right? So some water is going to slow down the garlic from browning, and it's also going to help make sure that the tomato puree or the crushed tomatoes are not too thick, because it depends on what brand you're using sometimes, right? So I'm going to add now to my vegetables. I'll bring this right to the camera because I think it's always good to see what's in process. I can smell that right now. You got jalapenos, you got poblanos. I can smell the heat sort of coming out of the chili peppers, but you're getting all of the fruitiness and the flavor with those chilies. So I'm gonna add now our crushed tomatoes. Tomatoes bring something to the game called umami. Umami, okay? That is the flavor of savory. You've probably heard it on a lot of food shows or read it in some food cookbooks. And umami is in almost, I bet you, so much of the food that you crave, okay? Who craves a pepperoni pizza? Lots of people. What about a bacon double cheeseburger? Absolutely. A steamy bowl of ramen? Yes. All of those dishes have umami in it, from the mushrooms or the shellfish, in this case the tomatoes, the cheese. All of those things have umami. It's what wakes up your palate. It's the flavor of savory, okay? So my salsa is cooking right now. It's gonna take about 5 more minutes to cook. So I'm gonna pop that over on the back burner, and I'm going to start cooking the eggs in this dish. Okay, so I have my ranchero salsa cooking on the back burner. It's time to get into the star of the show, which is our Eggland's Best eggs. And I've been doing a lot of this Okay, let's do it. 2 eggs right into the pan. Shall I try it again with 1 egg on the side of the pan? I think we can do that. All right, hot pan, non-stick. Just sort of making sure that the egg doesn't run all over the place on me. I think that'll work. And I'm just gonna cook 2 eggs in this pan. No reason to get super adventurous. And I sort of like the idea of the egg taking on its own shape in the pan. So I'm gonna turn this down really, really low. We're gonna let this cook. This is gonna be eggs over easy. I'm gonna grab my ranchero salsa, which you can see, look at how amazing and chunky this is right here. You can see those poblanos and those jalapenos, the onions, lots of flavor. It's beautiful and red. The eggs are finishing cooking. Let's head on over to our plate and plate these Huevos Rancheros. I'm gonna start by laying down our ranchero sauce. You can just really see, look how chunky and delicious that is. It smells amazing. I wish you could smell it. We have the poblanos, the jalapenos, of course the tomatoes, the onion, and the garlic. And just kind of put that right in the center. All right, then we're gonna top it with some black beans. These are drained black beans, one of the healthiest foods you can find. You know what I love about this dish? Your kids are gonna love it, okay? You might want to cook some of the eggs longer than others, right? If you're in my family, maybe that's the only thing that you have to go off script here. Lots of beans. We're gonna top that now with some avocado. I have some avocado that has been sliced, and you can just put it like on the side as a slice if you like. I sort of like putting different chunks of the avocado. I'm gonna add a little cheese. That's gonna start to melt on top of my tortilla. Now it's the time for the moment of truth, if you will. Time to put our egg right on top. I like this one because it's funky. It's got a funky shape to it. And our nicely, gently cooked egg will just go right on top. We'll garnish it with some cilantro. I'm gonna give it a nice amount of color. Okay. And of course, most delicious food gets finished with some fresh acidity, a squirt of vinegar, or in this case, a little bit of lime juice. Lime juice really wakes this dish up. Huevos Rancheros, brought to you by Eggland's Best and the American Heart Association. For more recipes and tips just like this one, you can go to heart.org/let's cook together. Speaking of cooking together, how about eating together? That's what we're gonna do right now.